Right. Audiobooks.com rule is between 20 and 40 minutes. They don't like to take anything over 45 because it's normally not consumable in a commuter situation. If you give them a 40-minute episode, they can listen to half on the way to work, half on the way back, and they feel like they've completed the whole hook sequence of your chapters. I mean, because let's face it, you should have a hook at the end of every one of your chapters, so you're getting them to turn the page, even if you're in print.
Right, and as far as mine go, I think that I was like close to an hour for the first episode. But what it was is I wanted to draw the reader in at that point because it was the first episode, and this chapter went really well together. The hook wasn't until the very, very end of the chapter. So that's what I did. I made that exception, and I said, Evo, I'm sorry, but I want this one chapter to be really long. And then the next couple ones, it's kind of like a two-parter, but I don't want to stop in the middle of it because it just won't make sense. So, but yeah, you kind of want to stick to that, that time limit. And if you don't, Evo will want an answer as to why. So, make have one.
Yeah, you don't want to disappoint the Evo man.
No. All right, Grizzly, do you have anything that you'd like to say about podcasting? And then we'll open it up for questions. So, but I want to let Grizzly have his say if he wants to. Any tips or anything?
Is this on?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well,
we can hear you.
Something about podcasting. That's kind of a broad spectrum. I know we got a little bit to the length. And the books I did on audiobooks are a little bit odd as far as the length thing is concerned, because basically most of them are, well, several of them I had already recorded before I put them up on audiobooks, and the segments were what length they already were. So mine tended to be, in some cases, very, very short, because I was just going chapter by chapter. 15 episodes in advance, and I thought I was fine. Today I just uploaded the last one, and now I gotta scramble a little bit to get the rest of the book done. So if you are going to go if you're going to get a lead going, that's good, but make sure you hold on to it. If you're going to be out 15 ahead, well, then you've got plenty of time to do the other 5 or 6 that you need to do to finish the book, and get started on the next one, rather than resting on your laurels, as it were. I think that's all I've got at the moment, anyway.
So nice to see you here, Grizz.
Yeah, it is.
Yay, Grizz.
Yay!
I just walked into the little house I built, and I got an invitation to teleport, and here I am. And I came in saying, "What the heck is all this?"
Yeah. Perfect timing. All right, since we've talked a lot about what we think you want to know, we're going to open it up for questions now. You can direct the question to all of us, or you can ask any one of us. Go ahead and, you could type it in the chat window, and we will answer. Crickets.
I love this silence. Always silence.
I just wanted to say that there's so much available out online as far as sound effects and music that you can download and use for free, as long as you make a comment somewhere, either in the notes of your show or in the actual podcast. The people who compose them want you to use them. They love to hear their things out in the internet world. And if you have a particular band or artist that you would like to use in your podcast, be sure and ask them. I did, and I was able to use a particular artist, a Celtic folk song artist, and I've got 4 of his albums, actually 6 of his albums, that I take music from and match them up with my chapters. So on my podcast, I was able to put a full song at the end of every chapter. I used his verses in my written book, but the full song at the end of every chapter just really adds a lot to my podcast, I think. So again, that's another thing that does not have to be expensive. The sound effects are free. The music, if you find the right music, it can be free. And so don't be worried about expenses when you want to think about podcasting.
You mean you talk to their management company and they let you use their music royalty
Yes.
free? Is that?
Yeah, yes.
And the podcasting site hooked you up with their management to do that?
I actually went to his manager through a note that was on his CD, and I was able to email them through their website. And I got in contact with his agent, and she gave me the permission to use all of his or any of his music as long as I gave my book away for free. Once we go into audible.com and start charging for them, I've already created a contract to give him a very minimal amount of money if I sell a book, or when I sell all of my many books through audible.com.
There's positive thinking.
Good,
Yes.
good.
But as long as I'm giving away my work free, I'm allowed to use his music without cost.
Actually is not. All right, so a really good question from Jilly was that if we could give our input on where we get music that is either free or very minimal to use for our podcasts. And yeah, Podshow has an excellent, well, they're not called Podshow anymore. They're called Mevio. But they have an excellent area for musicians. It's called PodSafe Music. I believe it's music.podshow.com. If anybody knows, tell me. And there's so many artists up there that have given their permission to either use their song for free or buy it for a very minimal amount. Usually it's like 99 cents or something. You can search their library for something that you like. Then you contact the person and say, hey, I want to use this for my pod show. You put their name in your show notes. And also if you could do a little audio at the end of your book saying, you know, this is so-and-so and this is their song. And you're done. I mean, it's so easy. I found a couple of my musicians that way. Very, very easy and simple to use. And you can listen to as many songs as you like and really find one that's good for you. Anybody else have any other free music sources?
Sure. Incompetech.com. If you go to patioracket.com, there is a tips on how to create a patio book, and there is a list of sites that you can go to get free or royalty-free or very low cost sound effects as well as background music. I love Incompetech because Kevin MacLeod just does some fantastic stuff that works with my Celtic kind of genre.
It's not just Celtic. He has anything in the world that you could ever want. And all he asks is that you mention his name.
Right. Also, if you're gonna go to ebook formats, you're gonna want to check out Smashwords.com. It's a very easy process to get your book available in all of the digital formats and out there in distribution channels. They've just signed an agreement with Barnes & Noble as well as Books A Million and Amazon, so they're linking all the ebooks up that way. And
audible.com. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Podiobooks.
No, that's Podiobooks.
Yeah, that's Podiobooks.
But I know
many things. Yeah.
I know that Mark Coker of Smashwords.com is in negotiations with Audible. We don't know if it's going to fly or not, but we'll see. It's because it's the audio versus ebook scenario. But he will be on the Blog Talk Radio show on the 12th of November, I believe. And I will get you a note card in a few minutes with all the links.
All right, so she also asked how we moved on to creating print versions of our book. And I want to give a few tips for those of you guys who are out there who want to create your own book. Now, I would not suggest you publish